Thor: The Dark World is the best MCU movie.
Oh yeah,
that's a troll. That's a troll. There's nobody that thinks that.
Absolutely. But my hot take was my bottom ranked MCU movie is in fact not Thor: The Dark World, but Captain America: The First Avenger. So I said that I think that I like Dark World better than Captain America: The First Avenger. And someone commented below my comment just with the meme of the old lady going, "What? W-A-T?" And I was like, how are you shocked by me being like, there is one movie that is worse than this one? But the whole original post was, this is the best Marvel movie.
Yeah.
They came specifically to my comment. Where I was like, it's not the worst Marvel movie.
It's amazing. Because everyone, I think it's Thor: The Dark World gets the ranking from a lot of people of as the worst, right? I think that's very common, and also that's from a lot of people who have not watched it recently and watch other films around it. It's kind of hard to pick the worst, honestly. But there is, I think it's a running. I mean, I know what my worst is. We'll talk about that on August 24th because my worst is Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Is it really?
By a country mile. By a country mile.
Bottom ranked one though. I don't like that movie either, but it's certainly not. I don't even think it's in like my bottom 5.
It's my number one least. And I can't. It's not enjoyable. Like I have a hard time. So I do a rewatch every year since Endgame has come out. I watch all the movies in release order. I suffer through that movie. I'm like, maybe I've softened on it. I'm gonna rewatch it for the show in August. But I know I hate that movie. Every time I'm like, hey, maybe it's just because it came after Endgame, and I watch. I'm like, I hate this. I really hate it.
Watch Black Widow after Endgame, and then watch Far From Home.
Good point.
Both of those Spider-Man movies I have only seen once, and I'm not against him like I was when this all started, but like I'm not a big fan of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and those movies are, I mean,
he's no Tobey Maguire.
Spider-Mans, man, I really do, and people love to shit on those now, and I'm like,
I love
Spider-Man 2
as Spider-Man. I love him. Like, I'm sorry, like
Spider-Man 2 is still my favorite Spider-Man movie.
It's the best one. I mean, and a close second has to be Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, like it's so neck and neck for me. I think it's
my top 2.
A better film. Hey, Miss Knox. To me, a better film is Spider-Man 2, like as cinema, but like a better Spider-Man story as a nerd is Into the Spider-Verse. Like,
for sure.
Different qualifiers, right? But for me, like, oh no, like Far From Home is far from the best one.
I liked Far From Home. I saw Far From Home twice in theaters. I liked it so much.
I read so much 90s Spider-Man, and I'm not saying that means that I'm right. I'm just saying, like, you know, I think all the themes that I think make the character the most unique in the universe and why he was special to Stan Lee specifically, all those things are sort of lost in this version. That's cool, and that's cool for the MCU, but I really think they lost some magic there. That's all. And I think that magic is present in Into the Spider-Verse.
That's so interesting because my deep Spider-Man dive as far as the comic universe is concerned is absolutely the 90s as well. And that's like when he became one of my, it's like X-Men
Krasinski,
universe,
right?
And then Spider-Man. Yeah. And actually leading into Ultimate Spider-Man, I absolutely fucking love too.
Yeah, me too. I think Ultimate is amazing. I think if people don't know where to start with Spider-Man, I say just read some Ultimate. It's really good.
But
Ultimate
that's
Spider-Man.
very
I've read some
that might be like the issue that I have with this iteration is that it's not like I got to grow up with Spider-Man by reading Spider-Man in the 90s, and now in my mind Spider-Man's grown up, and so I don't really like when people make Spider-Man not be grown up.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, the 90s version where like he's in a stable relationship, he's married to MJ, like things are going kind of well. But honestly, like I hate the idea you can't get like married in media and like because if you do that, then suddenly the stories are over. And like literally, the editor in chief at the time, he was like, "No, you can't. We gotta undo that because no one can relate to a like." Listen, I was 12 years old relating to a married dude in his like late 20s. Like I'm not, it's not the marriage part that matters. It's the struggle. His struggle, it continues because now he's got the married life, and if he's older, it would make sense. And it strikes me very George Lucas, like trying to figure out how to make a kid and put a kid in Star Wars, because everyone wants to be the kid, right? I'm like, no, they want to be the adults. They totally want to be the cool badass people.
Dude, Mark Hamill was like 35 when he fucking.
So we're Keenan and Kel if we're gonna continue down this road. Hi,
Lucille.
Hey, Lucille.
Who I hope to see in the Nickelodeon All-Brawl or whatever it's
called. All-Brawl.
Oh, dude. If there was... Okay, so you might be able to sell me if there's like a Good Burger like stage and like there's, if you're... Although, how much...
If this thing takes off, I guarantee you they'll be milking that with DLC for like...
How much is the DLC? $5 for Keenan and Kel plus the background level?
No, I think like live action characters is a bit of a stretch because look at what like SpongeBob and Patrick look like in this video game. So I think live action people is a bit of a stretch, but I think there's a possibility that it's like the Pokeball in Smash Brothers, but it's like a GAC container. Like,
that would be awesome. If I could get some GAC.
Yeah,
this is where my nostalgia is at. To be fair, like all of my nostalgia is in Nickelodeon, so it's not. That's my problem with it, and we'll get into it in the debate. But is not with the IP or like the concept. It's because that'd be cool. Everything. Listen, if they're like $80 release version has all like DLC plus like everything
it's
that's
gonna be $50.
Coming out.
The game's gonna cost $50.
That's what it's going to cost. But I'm saying as it gets closer, like, hey, you want season pass? You want everything ever that comes out for it? It's only $70. Also, can I say this? Great. It's going to be released on PC also, which means Hello mods. You can put anybody you want skinned in that game.
Yeah, so, for sure. And that's cool.
That'll be fun. If I'm going to buy it, it'll be on PC because we can put any not PC character into that. And hello, YouTube. That'll be fun.
You mean like Archie Bunker?
They already do that shit with PC Smash already.
True.
I've seen people like put in they put like Peter Griffin in Smash Ultimate.
But they have to run it on emulation, right? So they can't like do like
I forget how they do it. No, I think they like jailbreak a Switch and they do it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I've seen it happen. I mean, it exists, so it exists.
I'd be excited to see that in PvP. Like, I go into a PvP match, and I don't know who I'm facing, and suddenly it's like Peter Griffin or, like Lady D or something ridiculous like that. You're like, wow, okay. Because I could see it being like if you emulate it, but if you can do that for real, I'm for that.
Claymation Eddie Murphy from the PJs.
But yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So I think we're ready to go. And also hello to Lucille and Miss Knox. Hi. Thank you for being here. And also
thank you.
Two other viewers, one or two other viewers who are watching right now.
Anonymous.
Who shall remain anonymous. They who remain anonymous. Okay. We can't talk about that yet.
Hello. That's a little little cultural reference there for you.
Yeah, a little cultural reference. Okay, so I do want to let everybody know. So we've talked about it a little bit on stream. I think we talked about it on the Loki show last Saturday. But we got how we've been using the WandaVision theme song for way too long. We've been using the WandaVision theme song as our like opening theme, but we put it over the Predator, the Predator end credits. Well, we got DMCA'd finally, which I'm surprised it took. I'm surprised it took this long, but I think Disney's all of a sudden realized like, oh, we can make money off of the WandaVision songs, and so we got DMCA'd. So my brother did a theme song, an official theme song for the show. I wanted to have a new intro, like completely edited, for this episode, but just didn't work out in time. So instead, I just put that theme song over the Predator credits. So this is the debut of the theme song, not the new opening credits of our show, but the theme song itself. And a little taste. Here's a little taste. Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Wait, there we go. Okay, yeah, fucking, I don't know, man. That looks awesome. Okay, hey everybody, welcome to This Week in Nerd Stuff. Hi, I'm Justin B. Drew. Give it up for Mikey. Mikey, say hi.
I'm Mikey. Hello.
Hi, and then of course give it up for our guest, Jay Chanoine.
Yes, hi.
Who you've been on the show a lot lately.
Yes.
Also, yeah, so I want to start off with this debate because I have been percolating this week, like, especially today, while I was preparing to debate you on this, I've also been debating good friend of the channel, Dan Harold, on the Loki finale, which we'll get into on the final episode of Hiddlesumps this Saturday. But I don't want to fucking get into that here, obviously. But man, I don't know. I think that looks good. So just right off the bat, Mikey.
Yes.
You know, just opening arguments, man. Why don't you think this looks good?
Well, okay, so I have three major issues with this game, and they stem from the licensed IP, right? Which, again, we've seen good licensed games, but all these things paired together. Not a good track record because tend to be rushed out, cash grabs, right? Number two, so the fact it's licensed. Number two is the short from announcement to release date. Now, as much as I think that's a benefit if you are talking about a long, like a game where it's like, okay, so we have it all done and you trust us. We've put out great stuff. By the way, in 3 months, we got a game for you. Like, cool. And like, yeah, it's been going on for forever. We don't know anything about the production phase, how long it's been. That speaks poorly to me. And also being scarred by, was that Nick Racers in 2018?
This is
Nickelodeon Racers. Like, listen, you remember this game.
Yeah.
Sequel to it. I saw,
yeah.
Which actually,
and they're horrible. They're really bad.
To be fair, actually, the sequel got good reviews.
They're both on sale on the Switch shop right now, and I actually saw them both today when I was browsing through there.
$1 or less, you're getting your money's worth.
The first one is trash. I will say the first Kart Racers is absolute trash. But the second one, actually, they did kind of fix a lot of the issues. And I don't think this is going to be like a perfect game by any means. It is a Nickelodeon licensed game. You can tell by the trailer, there's no fucking voice acting in it because there's no voice acting in either of the Kart Racer games because Nickelodeon is too cheap. Nickelodeon is too cheap to pay fucking devs to pay voice actors twice. They are too cheap to pay voice actors twice. They don't want to pay them because if they put them in the fucking game, they would need to pay them additional amount. They didn't.
I bet some of those people they wouldn't need to. You think they unionized in like the real early 90s? I bet.
Literally, these people will do it for $20.
You think that, but I mean, I think there are like kind of rules to that. And
Skeeter's dad needs the money, Justin.
Nickelodeon doesn't own Skeeter anymore.
I do know
Disney.
that. Yeah, it's a Disney property.
But we know what they do own. They at minimum they own the characters, right? So for characters, everything in this game is what I'm saying, right? So they don't have to bring those voice actors back necessarily.
Right.
They should have voice acting. The fact there's no sound alikes and nothing, it really speaks to production for me. So my biggest concern is literally about the production and production time and the quality and care put into it. The trailer they showed reminded me a little bit of the amazing trailer I saw for Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, no, it didn't.
Only the fact wow, that looks great. I haven't played it, but that gameplay looks great.
So
you don't know how it feels.
This is what has me excited. Okay, GamesMill, kind of the parent studio is like they are the people who made the Kart Racer game. If it was just them making it, I would have no faith in this project. But they have partnered with Ludosity for this specific title. There's no other Nickelodeon game that Ludosity has ever worked on. They are the makers of Slap City, which is one of the best, if not the best, Smash ripoff. and I say Smash ripoff Smash ripoff. I mean, when I say the best, I mean it's the most Melee-like. I mean, like and this is very much. If you look at like the gameplay that we're showing you right now, right? This is very much like pretty fluid. It's obviously not got like the Nintendo layer of fucking shine that Nintendo puts on everything it does for the most part. Original Skyward Sword notwithstanding. But people, a lot of Smash players.
That game looked great when it came out.
Yes, it looked great.
It didn't
and
play
it played like shit. It's the only game I've ever gotten to the boss of the game and literally was like, I don't need to beat the boss of this game. I don't care about the ending. Like, I don't care how this ends. This boss fight is just not fun and annoying and bad. But so you see this though. This is pretty fluid, and a lot of Melee players like this game because it has wave dashing, which is a glitch that arose when Sakurai, Daddy Sakurai, Masahiro Sakurai, the maker, the genius behind the Smash Bros. Series.
The Sack Daddy, as he's known.
Yeah, Sack Daddy, Zaddy Sakurai. And it's a glitch that came out that he just thought was cool, and he didn't patch out, and then it became like a staple of like tournament play when it came to Melee, and then he just, when he went and made Brawl and every future Smash title, just patched that shit out of the code, and then and so of course all the Melee players, in their opinion, Smash was never as good, but Slap City fucking is basically kind of the closest thing you can get to Melee that's not gonna like get you like in trouble with Nintendo for playing. But these motherfuckers are the ones who are doing all of like the actual gameplay for this game, and the devs on their Discord have said that not only will Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl have wave dashing, it will also have rollback netcode, which is considered by many in the fighting game community to be the best way to play online, the smoothest way to play online, which not even the current Smash title, Smash Bros. Ultimate, not even that has rollback netcode on it. So knowing that, if it was just like Games Mills making like a Smash ripoff with Nickelodeon characters, I wouldn't give a fuck. And I do think that, this game looks rough around the edges for sure. It definitely looks like, a licensed licensed Nickelodeon game, right? I mean, it doesn't look like, like even when you're like watching like that trailer and as like at the end, as all the characters are like kind of coming together to like fight each other at the end of the Nickelodeon All-Stars trailer, it does look kind of janky, right? It does look like,
it looks bad. Come on.
But the actual gameplay looks fun.
You can say bad. We know what you mean.
Yeah.
But the actual gameplay looks fun. The actual gameplay, I don't know, Jay, what do you think? Where do you side here?
I'm legitimately in between the two of you. Like I agree with almost all of what you're both saying. I think that, like Mikey, you don't make bad points. Like, yeah, licensed games, yeah, there's good ones, but the reason we think of them as bad is because there's a whole lot of bad ones. And against one of your points is that I'm kind of a sucker for things like that. I like the novelty of pulling a bunch of characters from different properties and throwing them in something. I didn't play either of the Nickelodeon racers, but I've looked at them a number of times. The only reason I haven't played them is because I know that they're supposed to be bad. But whenever they've been on sale, I've been like, I like throwing a bunch of guys together. And I think Crash Team Racing was like a real fun kart racer. I know that's very well respected, but I even like the Sonic All-Stars, the Sega kart racers. I like that one.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a sucker for when they just pull a lot of characters together and make them do something. And I, read all the same things that you're saying, Justin. That and you know what? I liked Cyberpunk 2077.
I want to stand up for it too. Can I say I love it? I just want. There's a caveat of like it's not what they said it was going to be, but I didn't think it was going to be. And I was the only person saying that, like, don't expect wall jumping and all this ridiculous, beautiful shit in game. And we got what I thought we would get because I tempered my expectations.
And that is ultimately where I fall with. First off, I think it's beautiful and stupid that anyone is having this deep of a conversation about Nickelodeon All-Star.
Literally, the moment I saw this, I was like, the show this Thursday is going to be all about this.
Your excitement about it was incredible. And your hype level is beyond that of, like, the developers, which is...
Also, Dave, can I say Dave Adala, thank you. This is going to be for the PS1.
This is going to be for the PS1.
Right. Thank you, Dave. Exactly.
But yeah, like I read that, it's got a dev behind it that knows what they're doing in the genre and has some experience, and I think it's going to have rollback netcode, which is the golden standard. Like, it's not even in Smash. All you're saying is that as far as the internet is concerned, Nintendo's behind the times, and we fucking know that.
Oh, completely.
Nintendo's kind of thing is that they're behind the times. It's kind of the theme of they're just very out of touch. They don't know what people want, and they accidentally figure it out a lot. Like, that's pretty much their business model, is we're going to try a lot of stuff. It might fail. It might be the Wii U, where we're like, oh no, now we have hundreds of thousands of Wii U's, and they're like, I guess we just throw them all away. And then they're like, wait, hold on to the boxes, because maybe they'll buy the cardboard for our new console. There's some weird shit like that. So, like, yeah, no shit, there's not.
This is coming out for PS1.
This is
so I can't get over that.
So Jay, I have to ask you. So Jay, do you think that the comment in the press release about this was a dig at Nintendo? Because they said, like, we will support rollback netcode on platforms that support it.
That support
it. Dig at Nintendo?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're like, okay, so you're a Switch player and you're like, okay, I love me some Smash. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. And this comes out and they say, like, hey, we're going to do rollback netcode, and I'm a competitive player and I see that. How does that matter to you caring about this game at all? Like, I mean, maybe if you're like somebody, because honestly, certainly on PC, rollback's been forever, right? But, like, I'm not really sure about other consoles, or, like, does this matter to anyone? Because the competitive players are all playing Smash anyway.
Well,
here's the thing.
It matters to those people. It matters to streamers and competitive players, and those are the people that they want to hook early on, right? Because they want you to play it on your stream so that your following sees it.
Yeah.
They want you to say it's not dog shit, basically.
So I have a follow-up. Here's the thing. This is another thing that gets me to think that they are catering to me. They're catering to, like, the millennials who are just like, well, I can't afford to buy a house, so I'll just hyper focus on fucking bullshit and and argue about Star Wars and Rick and Morty in online forums. But, like, they put Powdered fucking Toast Man nobody under the age of 30 knows who this character is. So you got Powdered Toast Man, okay? That's one of the characters that they start off with him. He's one of the first. It's like, it's a Ninja Turtle, then fucking that dude. You got fucking Nigel goddamn Thornberry. You got Nigel goddamn Thornberry.
That's a weird choice. Let's be fair.
There's a lot of weird choices.
These are two, Ren and Stimpy and Wild Thornberries. Those are two dead franchises. I mean, when's the last time they've done anything with either of those franchises? Same with fucking This Blew My Mind, dude. This blew my mind.
Yeah, the real that got me a little hyped, though.
Monsters?
I was like, but so like we're talking all three main characters. Oh no, just the one. You're like, okay, fair enough. I know what DLC we'll all be buying, right?
Yeah, and
yeah,
if they didn't,
the Amanda Bynes show.
that would be hype. And they probably could get Amanda Bynes real cheap.
Her ultimate smash is fading into obscurity.
She actually pays them to be in it.
Yeah. Also, my brother Oliver, when I showed him the group chat I'm in with all my brothers, the trailer, he said, I can't wait for the Dan Schneider Master Hand type boss fight.
Fuck yeah. No, Master Foot.
Yeah, which they call Master Foot. Yeah.
Master Foot. But yeah, so I don't know. If they just wanted, here's the thing, they could easily have just kind of crapped out a game with like 12 SpongeBob characters and those Loud House motherfuckers and the Ninja Turtles and like maybe like 3 Rugrats and called it a day. But the fact that they are going like deep cut Nickelodeon, like deep cut. I haven't heard like
they're cheaper. They're cheaper to get the deep cut character. It's like the easiest thing licensing wise. No one's heard from, and also they don't have to worry about projects being done with real monsters.
But even in like the most recent Nickelodeon kart racers game, they didn't have these. They didn't have any of these characters in them. They didn't have Powdered Toast Man. I think they had Ren and Stimpy, and that's it from Ren and Stimpy. They didn't have anything from All Real Monsters. They didn't have anything from Wild Thornberries. So it shows me that they know that there's a potential for this to kind of blow.
They know the demographic. They've read the analytics. They know exactly who's buying the game, spends the most money on DLC content. They have demographics on everybody.
Who has,
Mario,
income. Really, is the question.
Any Mario games, none of these are any different. They all do the same thing. We're like, okay, so I know who my market is because I buy the research, and it's the cheapest part of making the game. But like, I think it shows, like, again, like nobody who's like 11 years old is up paying $100 for, a game is $50, of course. But what is it when you like, Real Monsters? I get one character. There's 3 main characters. I wonder where I'm going to put my other $5.
Mm-hmm. Into whatever characters they release.
Totally.
I mean, bro, wait 1 second. I mean, come on.
I'll be honest. Okay, so like I'm a huge Invader Zim fan, and it kind of disappoints me that Gur shows up next to him because I would like him to be playable as well. But
no, it's gonna be like Rosaline and Luma. It's gonna be they're a composite character. It's like how Toad is part of Peach and Daisy's moveset.
But in your favor, Justin, I only need because they're playing to the millennials and I hate this term, but specifically geriatric millennials is what we're referred to as.
Yep.
Ouch.
Born in the 80s, yep.
Yeah, born in the 80s, you're a geriatric millennial. It's okay if you have a pregnancy over 30, it's considered a geriatric pregnancy. all of that, I only need this game to be okay to pretty good for me to have a really good time with it because of all that fan service that they're clearly cramming into this. That's gonna hit for me. So
yeah. Also, back to the kind of the geriatric millennial thing. I saw somebody like share a meme that was like, instead of horoscope, just base your life around the synopsis of whatever Simpsons episode was the first one to release since your birthday. And for me, it was the fucking pilot by like 9 months.
Yeah. Like, which Tracy Ullman episode are we going by?
And like this person was like, mine's season 4 episode this. And I was like, I hate you.
Geriatric millennial was a term coined by some piece of shit 27-year-old. And you are right behind us, motherfucker. Don't act
you wait. You wait.
You'll get there.
I'll be cutting your checks.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen, if
your
this thing
depression's
sucks...
coming, pal. It's coming.
I think it's already there. Every time I watch the fucking news. Here's the thing. I will concede that, I don't think this is going to be like a perfect game. I would be very surprised if it was a 10 out of 10. All it has to be is like a 7.5 or an 8. If you load a match and it is fun to just fuck around and knock motherfuckers off stage, I am all in. But if it's like like if it's like a good game, if it's like a game that you could actually like have tournaments for, oh man, that is everything I've ever wanted since I was.
I think that is that's the hype and the expectation, right? Is like now it's a tournament game and now it's like a contender. It's really going against Smash.
The Smash community is losing its goddamn shit, man.
You have to understand how much value you're trying to get out of every game you buy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's gonna be like not great and you read their reviews and they suck, but that's $50 worth of suck because I want to play as Patrick Star.
Yeah.
Or Powdered Toast Man. You know, like cool. Then you made your money. Like one match, one moment can be worth $50 to you.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they're promising a lot.
What I expect.
I don't think they are.
Is the first thing that you said, Justin. It's gonna be somewhere between a 7 and an 8. It's gonna be a pretty good to good game that you'll be able to have fun with. You will appreciate all the fan service and the fact that what really makes me say that is the fact that this developer has done a genre game before that reassures me that the mechanics will be at least somewhat sound. It's not going to be like horribly broken in that regard. And the point I was going to make with Cyberpunk is that's kind of where very similar to what you said, Mikey. You just need to have the right expectations about these things. But there's a tendency with people to get overhyped, expect every game to be a 10 out of 10. And when it's not, and this is a problem in all media right now, not just games, but it's been there in games for a long time. If it's not a 9 or a 10, it's dog shit. And it's the absolute worst thing to ever happen. And it's like
IGN, everybody.
Yes.
Everything's an 8. Everything's an 8 on IGN because they're like, well, because we want you to buy it.
And what you were saying is just, do you feel like you got your, $50-$60 worth? It's if there are enough things in this game that stand out that make you go, I really enjoy doing this. If Powdered Toast Man's moveset just feels good to press those buttons enough for you to play it for a week, then it's a good game. And it doesn't need to be an amazing game.
Also, real quick, 2 things. 1, thank you so much to Sybil Enigma, who just gifted a tier 1 sub to Miss Knox. That's fucking awesome.
Oh, beautiful. Teamwork. Yeah.
So, awesome. Thank you very much. And congratulations, Miss Knox. You don't have to watch ads when you first sign on to the stream. That's good for you.
And thank you, Sybil.
Beautiful. And 2, I really think that the Cyberpunk 2077 comparison is really real dumb. Mainly because Cyberpunk 2077 was billing itself as this like next level, next gen, like this amazing experience. Like I remember reading about this game, and like one of the devs was like doing an interview, or whoever the fucking person who put together that game. It's like, yeah, if you see a building in the distance, you see a window on that building, you could go into that building and you could walk up to that floor and you can look out that window, any window, and like, it's gonna be, you can follow different NPCs on their day-to-day things. The NPCs are gonna be fucking, you can follow a guy to work and watch him do his job for 12 hours and then watch him walk home. Like, and they were promising like the fucking universe with this game. This game, dude, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is just, we'll give you an experience that you can get like on like a fucking Flash, on like a Flash games website.
As a recent example,
but may I respond?
Not really.
And
it's not
actually,
1-to-1. It's a bad metaphor.
But may I respond to that, because I feel like to invalidate my argument. True, I would put that down. I will. However, your argument, Justin, reinforces one of my arguments, which is that a legendarily good developer does not necessarily. That's not an argument for it will be a good product, because Witcher 3 is an example of. There's such a rich, and like I don't even want to do everything in The Witcher 3. Mm-hmm. There is so much. There's such a rich world, right?
That's why I stopped playing The Witcher 3, because it overwhelmed me.
It's overwhelming. It's in a beautiful way, in a perfect way, and that is fantastic. Every time you play it, you will play it differently. That's great. It's also gives you a lot of anxiety, because you're like, I missed some shit and I don't know what to do, and like, should I finish the game before hitting all the sides? And because the side missions, those side quests are more important, right? So here's my point. CD Projekt Red comes out of that. there's every reason in the world to think that they could handle any other project that's given to them, especially when their budget is larger. We don't know what their budget here is. My thought is putting faith in developers to make a great product is not on the developers. They can be amazing developers, not given resources. We don't, with how short of a dev cycle we've had on this Nickelodeon. Again, sounds like
you don't know that. You don't.
But we don't. We don't.
You're assuming.
But we don't not know it. Like, right? We don't know it. But we don't have proof. We don't have evidence on any side. My question would be: is if the dev cycle is like most licensed games, I would be concerned about that. And if not, if it's actually longer and they just
I'll
waited,
admit it sucks, man.
No, this is a beautiful debate. If it's great, I will concede as well because I'm not actually that invested. I just have to play in the role because I'm skeptical. But Jared has to, like Jared's saying, like it sounds great until it comes out, right?
The specific claim that in Cyberpunk 2077 you can follow around an NPC and watch them go around town. My absolute favorite glitch that I encountered in that game was they were the size of a child. An NPC walked by me on a block, but it was an adult character design. He had a goatee.
Yeah, that happens.
He had an afro, and he was wearing a specific, I think it was bright orange shirt and bright green like shorts. Like it was a very specific NPC, about 4 feet tall, afro, goatee, gold chain, like very recognizable. And I walked by him, and I turned the corner, and he walked by me again in the same direction.
Because they do nothing. They just walk like they walk a cycle.
Down the block, that same one was walking towards me, and I turned around, and he was still back there, but another one was coming towards me. There were like 4 different instances of this same little person with an afro in a very specific brightly colored uniform on the block at one time.
Nice. Also,
Surrealist.
The Witcher 3 is the reason I own a PS5 because for Christmas last year, my brother bought me The Witcher 3, and I was playing The Witcher 3, and I was super into it. He bought it for me on Switch because at the time that's all I had. And then
it's a very good port.
Yeah, it's solid, but I would look up like how to do certain things. I'd like look up YouTube tutorials, but since it was such an old game, all the tutorials were like from like the PS4 version, and I was like, oh my god, I could be seeing those titties in like that amount of high def.
Yeah, almost 4K, right? Yeah.
So I literally bought the PS5. So later this year, when the PS5 version of Witcher 3 comes out, I just want to restart it again so I can see those goddamn titties. But yeah, okay. Listen. So I have, you best believe, I have high hopes for this. I hope it's as good. I'll admit it if it's not. I'm not even going to pre-order this one. I'm going to wait for reviews. But God, if this game is good, this might become a Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl channel. Just letting you, it might be like podcasts. Yeah, sure, whatever. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl tournaments every week.
Those two statements side by side sound like there's so much disparity between them. I'm not going to pre-order it. I'm going to wait and read reviews. But if it's good, kind of okay.
Tripling down, baby. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing I've ever played in my life. Then I will be playing it instead of anything else in my life.
Yes, totally. Also, okay, so real quick, just to cap off this segment, of course, with any big announcement, especially if it's anything SpongeBob related, there's going to be memes. There's going to be memes. So I found this article that has a bunch of really, really fun memes that I want to go look at right now. So right here, this motherfucker about to skip it all over you in the nooch. Okay, wait. And then it's the picture of what's Stu Pickles, right? Stu Pickles, and Dee Dee asks him, it's 4:00 in the morning. Why on earth are you playing Nick All-Stars? Because Dee Dee, these kids online need to get fucking mixed. And then which, God, I hope that Patrick move is an actual I hope that's an actual Patrick move. God, I'm GG's. Hey Nickelodeon, I know it's supposed to be a good button and all, but holy shit, these are the startup and active frames of Gibby 6B. Please fix this. Yeah, fucking Gibby is the DK of Nick All-Stars. Pig mains after you 2-0 them at locals. I want to see you. I'm in the barnyard. Okay. Number one request from Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, give us a Hans fight like Master Hand. Oh, that would actually be super cool. Yeah, I only played Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl on a GameCube controller, and it's a SpongeBob GameCube controller. Does that exist? I might have to buy that.
That looks real. That looks
legit. It does. It's definitely real.
So Patrick 214M. Okay. But yeah, let's watch a couple more. Nickelodeon, please consider this adult skin. He's gonna be the big
no!
Brawl.
What I would like to see is the real life like WWE All-Stars version where we get fucking Lori Beth Denberg and Drake and Josh and we steel cage match that shit. And cast of all that and Mark Summers, whoever that dude was on Nick Arcade. Let's get all of them.
Yeah, Mark Summers taking out fucking Fred.
Stickly, baby. If they had like Stickly, I want to be like the Rob of Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. Also, there's a couple. I thought it would be on that list. I didn't vet the list, but there's a couple with Jimmy Neutron's dad that I love. It's like I'm about to shout. It's like something like I'm about to send you to the Shadow Realm, Jimbo.
And the whole reason I get your unreasonable level of excitement, if I'm being honest, but the reason I get it is because what we were just doing. There's so much there. There's so many references, and it's such a deep well of material for them that like there's a whole lot of things they could do that even if it's just a small nod, if I encounter some kind of figure it out reference, if Danny Tamborelli's face pops up in this game, I'm gonna think it's fucking awesome. Like there's just so much that they could do to make me be on board.
I want CGI Artie, the strongest man in the world.
Yeah, there's fucking the tiniest nod to some of these properties would make me go, yeah, this game is good.
Now, see, if there were like a Nick at Night patch where it's like, okay, cool, we're gonna add Nick at Night, like, Bewitched like characters and like every whole Brady Bunch, like sweet. Now you got me.
Golden Girls DLC pack. $20, you get all 4 Golden Girls.
Yeah, come on, I'm there. I'm for it. $100 for a season pass of that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Betty White has a great down smash. Okay, so let's move on.
Betty White.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so let's move on to something, I don't know, maybe it'll be as divisive. Who knows? Valve has announced the Steam Deck, a $400 handheld gaming PC, which is basically the Switch killer. I mean, how do we feel about this? I do real quick want to just point out, you sent it to the group chat, Jay, but I think this is absolutely the funniest take on this. It's from the hard drive, and it is Valve announces the Switch Pro.
It's fucking good. And they were so quick with that shit. I write for the hard times. I know how those pitch groups work. Kudos to whoever fucking did that pitch and got that up today. Like you, perfect. Bravo.
Yeah. Because this is what it's possible.
So joypads that actually work is the main feature, right?
We don't know that
in
yet.
The article, which is great, and it looks like those squares underneath the thumbsticks might be like trackpads of some kind, which would be kind of cool.
That is super cool. But yeah, so it's basically Nintendo Switch Lite handheld. It's going to cost $400
minimum. There's different models with more internal storage that will be more than $400.
Yes, and also there will be a separate dock you can buy that will connect it to your TV. But I think you can also connect it to your computer, I believe. I mean, it's got, your entire Steam library will be accessible and playable on this console. And let me see. Wait.
That's so huge, but they did this with consoles previously, where they a few years ago did Steam boxes, and it seemed like this was going to be the console killer because you'll have access to your Steam library on your TV with a controller, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it's true. But I think this brings it to another level, especially like the
it definitely does, because the handheld gaming space is a whole different beast. That's making something like this is a way bigger deal than, because like on my TV, what's wrong with the console experience? Like, why wouldn't I just keep doing that? Handheld, your options are either something old, something pirated, or the Nintendo Switch. And the Switch is underpowered by today's console standards.
Oh, completely. I didn't see. Will this have 4K capability?
I feel like it has to. I mean, Steam putting this out. I didn't see that in the specs, but I feel like it has to, or be just as quickly talked about as the last Switch.
Right.
it'd be the topic of conversation, but I feel like it has to be because it's a standard. Like my phone does output right now 4K.
Yeah. The only thing that gives me pause about this is that there's going to be a reservation pre-order system, and you need to pay a reservation, like a pre-order fee, to even get on that list. Which, I don't know. That's the first time. Has anybody else done that? Because I didn't have to do that to get on the fucking list for PS5 when I got my PS5, which I own. I own a PS5. But
I've never seen that before, but I will say that I think it's a symptom of being a smaller company. Now, that reservation fee, I believe, comes off the total price of the purchase, right? So
will it?
It has.
Are you sure?
I believe so. Yeah, I was reading the article and I was skimming through that, but I believe it's.
I didn't make it to that part.
Yeah, I believe so. We should fact check that before calling that canon, but I think that comes off the purchase price. But again, you keep in mind, like you don't have to, when you pre-order anything, you don't have to pay anything until it comes out necessarily, unless you agree to it. Certain platforms do that, but this is also a smaller company. We're not talking about like Sony console or not. And by the way, I'm not justifying it because they should just say, okay, you're on the list. You buy it when it comes out. We charge you when it comes out.
All right. Okay. So I didn't. I just saw the reservation fee, and my brain shut down. Like, no.
Your immediate reaction. I sent that to the group chat for this episode, and I was like, "Oh, this news just dropped today, and it looks real cool." And you went, "It's a scam." Because you read one sentence. I was like, what? Like it's fake?
I was mad.
Yeah, it goes towards the price of the Steam Deck. So you get charged. You get charged $5, and that fee is then, if you get through the process through registration, is put towards the price of the Steam Deck.
You know what, Jay? I'm sorry. I was in an emotional place. I was getting ready to.
I was make me upset too, man. I get it.
Bullshit.
Dan Harrell's Loki take, man. Fucking this motherfucker acts like fucking Tenet is like the best movie of last year.
I don't want to hear his Loki take yet.
And Black Widow is a 9 out of 10, but Loki was a letdown because the last episode's just a conversation. Fuck you, man. Anyway.
Bro, listen. I want more conversations. Come on.
Yeah, I like a good conversation. Don't you idolize Tarantino?
Also, it's kind of bullshit to be like, why would you watch this? It's just conversation. And be a streamer and a podcast.
Whoa! Pew pew.
God damn. But yeah, I don't know. So let's go around. You buying the Valve Steam Pro, whatever the fuck that shit is, Jay?
I'm honestly really, really tempted to just flat out say yes, because I've always been a handheld gamer. I fucking love handheld gaming. I think it is the best way to not best way to play a video game, but the most accessible way to play a video game, certainly. And like, the dream come true when I was a kid was getting that first fat, ugly Game Boy, and you're in the back seat on a long trip, and you get to still play video games. Like, it's that novelty never went away from me. I almost exclusively play my Switch in handheld mode, and when the Vita came out and I got to like remote play my PS4 in my bedroom, that was how I logged a lot of hours in games like Fallout 4 and the Skyrim Special Edition. They did their companies put effort into making sure, and actually the Destiny games, they ported really well for the connectivity for that too. I love playing those games on a handheld. I think it's amazing, and the novelty of laying in bed playing a game has never gone away from me. And when that game can be the same experience that I can get sitting in front of my TV or on a high-powered computer, fuck yeah, like I'm on board and I want that. And that seems like what this is, and if it is, yeah, I'm fully on board.
All right, okay, Mikey.
I'm gonna wait for year 2 on that, because currently I'm still running my GPD. That is a full-fledged actual. It's powered off right now, but gaming computer in my pocket, and you get little things you can like snap on the side for controllers. So I think for my Steam library that I mostly play, I'm cool with a GPD, which I paid $850 for, which is ridiculous, way too much. Jesus, but also it's a gaming computer.
How long ago did you spend that?
Year and a half. So
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah,
that's really cool though.
It's super cool because it's got all the nerd stuff too, so I can like diagnose. It's got serial ports. Who has those anymore? But anyway, my point is, this is a thing where it's like I love the specs inside. I love what it's doing, but waiting until we see how it performs. But I'm more excited about this than any specific game that's coming out this year. Honestly, I think it looks great. So I mean, like if it lives up to its potential and a version 2 comes out, then I'll be buying that in a second easily. But in the meantime, I got my GPD, and I'm happy about that. Okay. Way too expensive.
And I'm going to answer the question, will I buy the Valve Steam deck or whatever it is? Depends on if their version of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl has rollback netcom.
God damn.
Got him. GG's, baby. Okay, so I just want to highlight this, and I want to preface this next segment by asking y'all, and let's start with Mikey for this one. Did you play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword when it came out for Wii a decade ago?
I'll be back in like 15 seconds.
Sure.
No. I actually, what's ironic is I have a copy of it. I've never played it.
Okay. Really? Interesting. Yeah. Why do you think?
Why I haven't played it? It's literally just time. I'm curious, but also never really seemed like, you know, I'm an old school fan, and then when things kind of moved into like the newest era, I'm interested now, but everything in the middle, everything from N64, the last one I played, I didn't even finish Zelda 64. So
wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was a very nostalgic thing for me until, yeah, huge open world. Now it's more interesting, but I have to say it's a huge gap in the direct center of my Zelda universe.
Well, Skyward Sword doesn't have an open world. Actually,
exactly.
The state, like the worlds are actually extremely linear. Jay, did you play Skyward Sword?
So my Wii U and Wii accessories are all packed up and in storage, I realize. So I don't have the golden Wiimote out that came with the special edition of Skyward Sword, but I do have the hardcover Prima official strategy guide.
Perfect.
This cloth map
Jesus
of
Christ! Wait.
And the
no, hold that right up. I want to see that
world.
shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god.
This is like a handkerchief. This is like a fucking. I could have last year for COVID. I could have gone out with a Skyloft around my face to protect me from the deadly virus.
God damn, dude, that is hardcore.
So yes, I did, and I loved that game. Except for, I wish there was an option to play without motion controls.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you have it.
And it sounds not that good.
Yeah, no, exactly. So this is just an article that Nintendo Life did, rounding up all the reviews. Nintendo Life themselves gave it a 9 out of 10, saying that this is the masterpiece it should have been 10 years ago. Other places, I've watched a bunch of reviews and like read a bunch of articles about it. But other places, other sites are not as as stellar. I'm going to read this GameSpot quote this article has. The various quality of life tweaks that Nintendo has implemented here, welcome as they are, don't fix Skyward Sword's biggest issues, and it remains the most uneven 3D entry in the Zelda series. Even so, the improvements in the Switch remaster make the overall experience more enjoyable, and the characteristic Zelda magic ultimately outshines the game's faults. And IGN, who even cares? The Guardian gave it a 4 out of 5.
Well, IGN originally gave Skyward Sword a 10 out of 10, which was a big point of contention for a lot of people.
IGN changed it. Wait, they changed a score after? I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, so I've heard that because you can do it without motion controls, you can do it with button controls, but you got to use the C-stick. The problem is you also control the camera with the C-stick. So in button-only mode, what you have to do to control the camera is you need to push in the left bumper and then use the C-stick, and apparently it is not fluid, and it's not something that would come to mind.
What I read is that it's like inverted camera controls. So to swing this way, you have to do the opposite of what you feel like you should do. So everything I read about it sounds like it's serviceable but frustrating, which is how I found the original motion control scheme and what I wanted the experience to not be.
Also, I just want to call attention to Valik's comment in the chat. I love when Nintendo reviews itself as 9.8 out of 10. Nintendo Life is not Nintendo. They are a separate company. They are just a website that follows Nintendo. They're also very harsh to Nintendo quite a bit. Even in their review of the remaster, they talk at length about their negative review of the original version and talk about all the things that they believe have been fixed. So it's not like, Nintendo is like, yeah, we reviewed our game and we think it's a 10.
It's not Nintendo Power. Because that's
it
not
is
Nintendo
also,
Power.
Typical Nintendo bullshit, and very disappointing that this game is not packaged with, or at the very least being released alongside the other HD Zelda remakes that came out for that console that you have already given us every other goddamn game for, and I've paid $60 for them again, you blood-sucking bastards. Just give me fucking Twilight Princess and Wind Waker on my Switch so I can play them in handheld mode, or I will have to pirate them on my Steam machine.
Your jailbroken Steam Deck.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And then Vali said, oh, I thought this was Nintendo Power. Nope, it's Nintendo Life.
Nintendo Power's dead, actually.
Yeah, sad.
R.I.P.
Pour one out, man.
that last issue is also in the shelf somewhere.
Cool. So, Jay, you buying Skyward Sword HD?
Yes. For the amount of shit that I talk about Nintendo, so I was a Nintendo fanboy for most of my life, and that Stockholm Syndrome wore off, and I identified myself as a victim of their abusive behavior and policies, and then the Switch.
I haven't reached that point with myself yet,
dude, then the Switch just got to the point where there was enough good in its favor that I was like, I fucking hate what you do to me and what you do to all of us, and I hate how many people you make not see it, and for how long I didn't see it. But god damn it, yes, you're the only place that I can play these games, and they're amazing. Yes, I'm a lifelong diehard Zelda fan. That's why you and I
know you hated Breath of the Wild.
That's why that hurts me, man. That's why I have that argument so frequently, is because I legitimately went into a state of depression when I did not love that game, because it felt like something I knew about myself was no longer true.
It's a good game. I'm sorry.
I did not understand how something could say Zelda on the box for a big mainstream release like that. Obviously, there's the DS stylus only controlled ones I wasn't crazy about, but there's for me to not love a mainstream Zelda entry was not something that was possible. And so when I didn't love Breath of the Wild, I had a little bit of an identity crisis, man. And it's why I now have that argument so vehemently, because I did play it and I made myself finish it. And that game is super boring and disappointing.
I mean, it is, I think, the highest reviewed Zelda game of all time.
It is. It is. I am
considered by many a classic.
I am one of 5
It's my favorite Zelda game.
Yes. Skyward Sword is at least what I love and came to expect about Zelda. And I totally understand the argument that Breath of the Wild is what the original Zelda was, where it's a big open world, you can go out, you can explore, and you can do whatever you want in your own order. And yeah, that's what the original Zelda was, and none of the other ones. This is a decades-old property. It hasn't been that thing for a very long time. That's not what I wanted anymore.
But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I'm honestly watching the reviews kind of makes me want to go back and buy this.
Also in chat, they said I realized something was wrong with me and not the game.
Yeah,
that's valid.
And there are some core Zelda parts missing from BOTW. Yeah, but I don't think that. I think that's cool. I think that's. I think it was brave of them to kind of forego them, and that's part of where the acclaim came from. One thing I do think that was missing with Breath of the Wild, that it would be a big reason for me going back and playing Skyward Sword. There's plenty of content in there. If you're acting like this game like doesn't have like cool, awesome shit to do in every corner of it, you're ridiculous.
Definitely not in every corner of it. It's in the corners.
I mean, it's got awesome shit all over the place. You'll stumble upon awesome shit and little awesome details. But watching like game footage and all these reviews made me really miss the various dungeons in Skyward Sword because there were no dungeons in Breath of the Wild. And I do remember that the Skyward Sword and every review has reminded me that the dungeons, once you actually get to the dungeon, you'll have to do a million horrible things. You have to go through this horrible overworld and you'll have to backtrack through that overworld to get like 15. You need to find 15 poppy rocks and give them to the Gimli Goo, and then you gotta like fucking spend an hour going back and like searching every fucking tree and shit to find them. But you'll finally get that, and then you'll just play it like an amazing dungeon with an incredible boss. And
the story's really good. The art style's awesome. There's the control scheme is very frustrating. And to me, the one thing that really pissed me off in that game was the stamina meter, which guess what's the one thing that they borrowed for Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, stamina meter. But stamina is going to be a thing going forward, baby.
There's frustrating things in Skyward Sword for sure, but I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play it. I'm exactly the sucker that they want me to be. I'm just self-aware about it now, but that does nothing for me changing the behavior or addressing the problem.
I also want to call attention to Valik's comment. Music that I could play via an instrument. What I missed, like what you don't have a piano that you can go do 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 do. There's music. It's just 3 piano keys just tinkled over and over. But yeah. So also I do want to just say to Murder Man Jones, yeah, no, we had it right at the beginning. It was like the first 40 minutes of this episode.
Yeah, we couldn't wait.
It was just about this Nick game. Sorry, and we all agreed that it's going to be amazing. I convinced Mike.
Hey.
But yeah, damn. But yeah, Mikey, what do you think? You think this might be something? I mean, I know you don't own a Switch yet.
Yeah, but I think like I've been thinking a lot about what I'm going to play first. Obviously, like Metroid is going to be like my number one.
Metroid Dread. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's going to be the thing I'm going to be attaching to. But I've been thinking about what's my list of games that I would play next. But and also there are Zelda blind spots I've been meaning to get to. So for me, this is kind of perfect. I'm not expecting a masterpiece, but I
don't.
Yeah, I don't expect much.
It's no Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. I'll tell you
right,
that much.
Exactly.
It's no Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2.
Grand Prix.
God damn it! Not spending my money on that again. No, not after part 1. But yeah, 100% in.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I might bite the bullet and just buy it this weekend because I've been trying to play Middle Earth, Shadows of Mordor, and I keep fucking. Listen, I
like
keep
those games
getting
a lot.
killed.
They're so good.
They're fun. It's fun, but I keep getting killed by this one fucking archer orc who he started out as a foot soldier, and in that game every time something kills you it gets promoted. This motherfucker runs Mordor, dude. This motherfucker has killed me like 19 times. And it's always his name is Grisha Uglyface. and I see him, and then anytime I die it's like Grisha Uglyface. I was like, this guy killed me because now he's so powerful he can kill me and he's not even like my line of sight. He's like halfway across the map. he's just a sniper, dude.
First off, in chat, play Minish Cap. That game is incredible. That is a great Zelda game. I'm so glad that you are playing Shadow of War or Shadow of Mordor, because one of the times that we were arguing about Breath of the Wild, which is just something I sometimes like to open up. Like, let's go in Justin's group and talk shit about Breath of the Wild. I got a couple free hours.
You know you're gonna like call. You know, it's like
explosion.
You're like out to like the town square. Like, Justin, come on!
Don't take the bait.
And it's a fun fight to have because we're both passionate about our sides. Like the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Man, you missed a good one, Murder Man Jones. Anyway,
strong argument.
I'm so glad you're playing that, because one of the things you said to me once when I was like, God, I fucking hate how long I spend just tilting up on the stick in this game and not doing anything else. And why does my stamina deplete when I'm going? Why can't I just climb a fucking mountain? Like they told me, see that mountain? You can climb it. Maybe. And you were like, well, your traversal wouldn't be fun if you could just, like, the traversal is fun and it blah, blah, blah. If it were unlimited, it would blah, blah, blah. And the point that I didn't make was, you know what game is real fun to traverse around? Is the Shadow of War games where you can just climb up fucking anything and there's no stamina. I mean, you run all over the place. I love the traversal in those games.
It's fun. It's fun, but yeah, no, I'm like, I just keep getting my ass handed to me by the same dude, and it's sad, and I want a fetch quest in a Zelda world. But okay, so let's move on. And also, Murder Man Jones says, looks like you guys wiped up all the blood before I got here.
It was slime, first of all. It was green slime.
Yeah, we settled it. We settled it with a round of Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. My Patrick schmoves.
No, we family double dared and we did a physical challenge.
Yeah, no, we didn't. I wouldn't. Okay, so this is yet another. Let's keep it in the Nintendo realm. Pokemon Unite, which is basically League of Legends with Pokemon, is launching on Switch next week. And you can get a free whatever Zerara, I don't know, that's bullshit. You know, whatever fucking 800th fucking Pokemon. But yeah, are either of you familiar with the concept of Pokemon Unite?
No, and when I looked at it, it looked like Diablo clone. But if you're saying League of Legends, is it a MOBA? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
it's a
Pokemon MOBA,
right?
And so basically it's basically League. Holy shit, Mark.
Is it getting localized? Because everything I found was in Japanese.
It's coming to. It'll be available in America next week. But it's free to play. It's free to start. You know, it's just like any one of these fucking MOBAs where you can get into it for free, but if you want to be good at the game, you got to pay like $20 a month or some shit, right? But yeah, I don't know. Does this look like something either of you guys would play? Let's start with Mikey for this one.
This looks like what adult people who've never played Pokemon Go think Pokemon Go is. Like boomers are like looking at their 22-year-old daughter and be like, they're playing Pokemon over there on their phone, and they imagine it's this, which is like every mobile fighting game, or it reminds me a lot of Marvel Future Fight, which I was super into for a bit because of the character designs. It's not bad. It's not for me. It's the things that
you play League.
No, I do not. I have, but I do not play. It's just not for me. Not my style. Yeah. And
I could never get into League.
I wanted to, because it feels like there's so many people that I could play that I could in that community that I know, but it's not for me. And this feels like that too. I don't know. I all the things I like about Pokemon Go are not here. All the things I like about Pokemon as a nerd who just sits in a corner and watches anime and plays with my own cards, not there. So yeah, I think this is just not my style.
Okay. Yeah, see, all the things that I hate about Pokemon Go are gone in this, like, walking.
Going outside.
Yeah, leaving the house.
Meeting more than one person for a raid.
Talking to people.
Yes, all of that.
Friends.
I have friends, I think. But Jay, 1, do you play League? And 2, is this something it's free. Is this something you think you'd get?
I don't play League. I've watched people play League. what's intimidating, first off, I don't think until recently I don't think I had a computer that would run League dependably, because I'm way more of a console gamer. And the intimidating entry point of League is that, like, at this point, it's been around for so long, the people that play it play that game. And so it's kind of a scary notion to me to get in to learn like the main MOBA, and I just had no MOBA experience until a couple of years ago. One that was coming to consoles that was made by, I think it was Epic Games, called Paragon, was a like early development game that I paid to have early access to, and that was kind of my introduction to MOBAs. And I really liked digging around, playing a few rounds of that. And if I can do that with this, then it definitely seems like something. If it's a free download, I'll totally download it and give it as much time as I'm willing to. It looks like it will probably be a couple weeks where I play like a round or two a day and then go back to my actual game that I'm playing,
which is Skyward Sword HD. Yeah. Yeah. See, I have no MOBA experience at all, but it's free and it's Pokemon related. The same way that I downloaded Pokemon Cafe Mix and just gave that like a swirl and was like, oh, this is boring. I hate this. I fully anticipate that I will download this, and much like Pokemon Go and Pokemon Cafe Mix or whatever, will be like, oh, this is boring. I hate this. And then it'll just sit on my hard drive on my Switch for fucking ever. Or on my phone, in the case of Pokemon Go. Although I think I deleted that app to make room for other shit.
Did you get? Yeah, I think. Did you get new Pokemon Snap, Justin?
No.
You should.
I wasn't ever into. I don't have the nostalgia for the original Pokemon Snap. At the time Pokemon Snap came out, it's like I need these poor imprisoned animals to be fighting each other to the death, or I'm really not invested in the story.
You're missing out.
I've heard that. I've also heard people have like issues with the game. I've also heard that people
I'm in a Facebook group with Dan Harold too, man. People have issues with everything.
Yeah, but like just certain things, like you'll basically get, do everything you need to do to get a certain picture, and then you just won't get it because the game's like, fuck you, no you didn't. And there's like no way around that other than to just do the entire level again, where you have to hope that everything lines up perfectly for you to get that picture again. I don't know. I've heard, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know if I want to just go around. I enjoyed Animal Crossing for like maybe 2 or 3 months because it was just my trauma coping mechanism when the pandemic started.
Right.
Like it was like everybody else's. But now I can't even go back. Like I'm so bored. Like logging back, the last time I logged into it, I was like, what? I don't care.
I did with that game what I have done with every Animal Crossing game besides the original one for GameCube when it was a new and novel thing, which is they announce that it's coming out and my brain goes, you should not get that. Because every time there's a new Animal Crossing game, you let yourself get caught up in the hype, you get it, you play for like a month or two tops, and then you go, these games are not that fun in the long run, and you never touch it again. And then it came out and everyone was hyped about it. And I was like, I should get that game. And I did. I played it for like a month or two, and I will never touch it again.
Yeah. And also, they promised like 3 years worth of like new content, and it's been abysmal new content. It's nothing that I've seen, no upgrade I've seen is like, oh, that would get me playing the game again. None of that. It's anything they do to update Animal Crossing. I'm just like, oh, that's okay. Well, although I will say my fiance Emily plays that game. Used to, for the longest time, she would play it like daily, and it wasn't until I think like 2 months ago where she got super into Moonlighter that I don't know if you guys know what that game is. It's basically you run a shop. You're like the guy that like trolls dungeons and then gets things, and then you run. So it's like a dungeon crawler at night. And then by the day, you're selling shit at your shop, and
nice.
it's a weird combination of things. But she got super into that, and now she's playing Breath of the Wild again because she loves it that much. The third time through for her. So fuck you, Jay. Anyway,
I mean, if she loves Animal Crossing, where you agree with me, it gets real boring and there's very little to do. Yeah, she's gonna love Breath of the Wild. That is her game.
That one hurts, and also. I'm not going to be responding to this Valik comment. All right, here we go. Netflix will reportedly offer video games, quote unquote, within the next year. Yeah, this is interesting. So basically, the TV and movie streaming giant Netflix, not sure if you guys heard of it, could be offering video games as part of its subscription as early as next year, a new report claims. According to Bloomberg, a person, quote-unquote, familiar with the situation. Remember when they told us the Switch OLED model was going to have 4K? Just want to point that out. Has stated video games could appear, quote-unquote, within the next year, being available alongside the service's current content as a new standalone genre. Apparently, Netflix doesn't have any plans to charge any extra fee for the video game content on offer, presumably meaning that current subscribers would be able to access the games with no extra steps required. The report notes that Netflix has hired former EA and Oculus veteran Mike Verdu as its vice president of game development. Previously, Verdu worked as Facebook's vice president and was in charge of helping developers bring their games to the Oculus VR platform.
Oh, EA and Facebook, that's a track record of
yeah, I know,
everybody.
But yeah, so let's go around. One, how real do you think this report is? Obviously, this is from Bloomberg, the people who told us that the Switch OLED model would have 4K in docked mode, which was not true. But do you think this is true? And how do you think that would work? And let's start with Jay for this one.
They've been talking about this for a while. This is the first concrete statement of it's coming in the near future that I've heard, but Netflix has been talking about trying to do this for a long time. I'm unclear on what they even mean. Like, do they actually mean like Amazon Luna or Google Stadia? Or are we talking like full AAA game streaming that I have to get like a controller for, or like link a Bluetooth up to? Or are they talking that they are going to make content for Netflix that will be video games? Because if that's the case, I think it's gonna be mostly disappointing. Because I think it's just Netflix is available on too many different platforms that the base level of video game that you're going to end up producing is going to be like a point and click hidden object type of thing is what you're going to be able to pull.
Yeah, or it's going to be like that terrible Stranger Things 3 game.
Which is mentioned in this article I saw when you were scrolling down. It was like, Netflix stuff is on Switch. They have Stranger Things 3. It was like, don't talk about that.
Oof, yeah, that game was. I mean, I'm glad I got it for like $4 on sale. But even like playing it for like 2 hours, I was like, this wasn't worth $4. But yeah, Mikey, what do you think? Do you think this is real? How do you think it's going to work?
I'm with Jay on this. I'm confused by what they mean. I don't have enough information to even understand what that would mean. Like streaming, are you partnered with somebody? Are you making your own games? Is this your own platform? It's very confusing, and all I can think is in the early 2000s when you got your DVD player and it came with games, and it's like Pong. Like, oh, cool! I can't wait to play like Space Invaders and Pong on Netflix with my TV controller, because that's the vibe I sort of get from it. Because there's no information. I feel like this is an announcement that is like a non-announcement. So I don't know.
Well, this is just a rumor. It's not an announcement. Yeah, I mean, I guess for me personally, it would depend on exactly how they do it. I mean, are they going to give us an extra box? Is it just going to be through the service somehow? How would you get the controller? Would there be a controller? Would it be like a phone app or some shit? Is Google Stadia still a thing?
Yeah, that's how I played Cyberpunk, because they were running a promotion where I don't have a PS5 because I'm a real person, so
I am fake. That is true.
The PS4,
I don't actually exist.
PS4 version was like notoriously the absolute worst one, and I was upset because I was very excited about that game. And the Stadia version was supposedly, if you didn't have a high-end gaming PC or a next-gen console, the way that you could play it, that was your best option. And then they ran a promotion where if you paid the full $60 for Cyberpunk on Stadia, they sent you a Google Chromecast and Stadia controller so you could play it on your TV for free for the $60.
Wow.
And so I did that, and like 8 hours after I did it, they stopped the promotion like 3 days early because too many people were taking advantage of it, and they were losing money. So yes, it is still a thing. No, I have never used it for anything other than Cyberpunk 2077.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah,
but
I
there's
don't know.
a chance
I mean,
I would if a game. I've actually thought about using it to be able to play Baldur's Gate 3 because I don't have a gaming PC, and it has access to that. If a game came out that was exclusively next gen and I still didn't have a console yet, I would use it again to be able to play it.
Yeah. See, yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'll just do the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl rollback netcode joke again. Pretend I did that. Here we go. Okay, so let's move on to PlayStation news. All right, and so this is a quote from Jim Ryan.
Ooh.
All right, that people, I know that Jay, you have feelings about.
God, this pissed me off.
Yeah, so Jim Ryan says players only remember the best games. No one really cares about a game that is only okay. Which I think, I'm proof of, actually. Jay, just what are your thoughts? Because I know that you had a lot of thoughts.
Why did this make me so fucking mad? Because, I get what he's saying. And really the statement he was making when you read for context is he's explaining why they put so much effort into their first-party products, which PlayStation has been on a hot streak for some time now, and why they take so long for them to develop and why the development gap is so long. And he's saying, we want the quality to be there because if the quality's not there, what's the point? But he does repeatedly make implications that not only is it only the best game that anyone's going to remember or value, but also that what makes it the best game is that huge budget and that long development time and those big resources seems very implied by what he's saying. And to one of the points that I was making earlier is that I feel like that quote, first of all, feeds and comes from the mentality that I was talking about earlier, where if a game is not a 9 or a 10, then why does it even exist? And my biggest issue with it is if you grew up a gamer, especially if you were the Super Nintendo, original Nintendo generation where your parents would, he has that, I'll get him a game. You didn't, you don't remember the games because they were the best. You remember them because they were the ones you had. And you loved a game because it was in your living room. That was why you fell in love with a video game. And now there's so many people our age that cherish games that were not considered great in their time, but it's because they were widely available and they were the games that you played when you were a kid and you developed those cherished memories with.
I still remember the Lion King game on Super Nintendo, motherfucker.
It's a real good game. The Stampede Bubbles and Fury.
It's actually pretty damn good. So
I still remember the Toy Story game.
Also pretty good. Not amazing, pretty good.
No, those both sucked.
Wait, on Super. Wait, which console?
Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo ones. Play them now. That RC car, dude. The RC car.
It's been a minute.
But the real issue I have with this is that headline of players only remember the best games. I am an avid consumer of bad media. I enjoy a lot of things that people think are shitty. And Mikey, I did not know that you, until earlier this week, that you shared my fervor for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Power Rangers offshoots.
Absolutely. I've seen every season of Power Rangers on TV, which is almost 900 episodes.
You are better versed in extended Power Rangers universe than I am.
Huge fan. I like things that are fun and bad at the same time. You can be both. You can be energetic and full of of life and also not great.
And the word memorable,
like a Nickelodeon game that, just saying.
is what really got me about that. Because, and I love that you keep bringing up, I'll get it because it's like $2. Because I will play some shit if it is under $5 on sale. Because I get curious. And one of the most memorable Nintendo Switch experiences I have had is with a creepy-ass Japanese game called Pantsu Hunter, where you play a handyman who
heard of this.
wants to connect with women and learn about them, but the way that you do this is by stealing their panties. So you go to their house and have to talk to them and find a way to get them out of the room, and then you get 15 seconds to like poke around and try to see if there's a pair of panties hidden, and there is in the lampshade. And then every different girl and every level has like 6 pairs that you have to collect, and then at the end you go on a retreat with it. It is the creepiest shit, and by far the most memorable thing I have played on the Nintendo Switch. Because I was hunting for girls' panties while tricking them into thinking I was fixing their VCR. It's also set in the 90s completely arbitrarily, just so they can do like throwback nods like, oh, you're fixing a VCR. Remember those? Go sniff this girl's panties.
Well, because if it was set like in 2020, right, or 2021, or even like the mid-teens, it'd be like, okay, so call into this number, and then let me just give me your IP address. Let me just log into your computer. Okay, we fixed it.
For a game to be memorable, I need to have fun playing it. For me to have fun with something, it does not need to be objectively good or well made. I have watched Batman and Robin more times, I think, than any of the Chris Nolan Batmans. That movie is fun as shit to watch. You will laugh way more than you do during any other Batman movie.
I still think one of my favorite scenes in all of Batman is when Mr. Freeze is making all of his henchmen watch and sing along to The Year Without a Santa Claus. Yes. Like, Mr. White Christmas. That's hilarious.
Okay,
that is objectively amazing.
If you have Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze, come in and say, everybody chill. It's a bad pun. When he says chill 3 more times, it's fucking amazing. That movie's so fun.
Almost every line of dialogue from him is a pun, and it's a masterpiece.
Yeah. I think wasn't I defending this movie on last night's show?
Yeah, you were, and I had your back on that. I agree. I love Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Better than Dark Knight Rises. Fight me, Dan. I know you're out there, Dan.
That was my real issue with that headline, was that they only remember and only want sequels, is something that he said, if it's a really good game and a really good gaming experience. That's not true. Like, okay games get sequels all the time because like Destiny 1 came out mediocre and they turned it into something that was really appealing. And then when they made a sequel, we were all on board because they had done something with the first one and it came around. And then the second one came out and was also not that great at launch. And we were all scratching our heads going, why didn't you learn anything? And they literally just repeated the process, where now it's a good and fun to play game.
Okay, well, what does Mikey think? Mikey, what do you think? Do you agree with Jim Ryan? Do you agree with Jay?
No, I mean, Jay's right. Here's the thing is, I think the headline is the problem. It's not even what the content of the article says. But these are, like, again, you put that in someone's head as an idea and a concept as a headline. I think it kind of spreads the idea that, like, okay, young devs, people who are, like, maybe in their early teens see something like that. It's just, on the face of it is false. Like, I remember more game, again, I think, like, Jay's right. It's, like, what your experience of playing the game is. It could be good or bad. It's a matter of, like, okay, so that's not commercial or viable. But whether a game is good or bad, I mean, you had an amazing IP with Aliens Colonial Marines, right? And you shit the bed on that. But it is still remembered. And there's actually a growing fan base of people who patch out the game because they like what the core is. Now there's a fan base. So, yeah, does that mean don't make Aliens games because you failed there? Like, no, people remember it. The IP is successful. And the fans like it enough to patch it out and fix what you did. Yeah, that's the problem with it for me. It's just not true. Like, people remember bad games or mediocre games just as much as, the best games, which is subjective too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I remember a lot of games that I wouldn't consider great games fondly. I mean, I just played a game called Turnip Boy commits tax evasion, I believe it was called, on Nintendo Switch. That was like on sale for like $9, and I like picked it up, and it's like I like 100%ed it in like less than 3 hours, and it was like a fun little game, and has like a weird. I didn't even realize that I was fighting the secret boss. I read there was a secret boss, and then I was like, "What was it?" And then I like read about what the secret boss. I was like, "Oh, I guess I just got the secret boss on the first try." But it was fun. I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't put it like all-time games, but I remember it.
The link that I sent you before we get off this topic, Justin, about a game called Adventure Time. Hey, Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage for the Nintendo 3DS?
Hating on Zelda 2. That's a great game. Come on.
And it's
a classic.
It's of all the games.
But they did an extended version of the Adventure Time theme song for this game, which is called Hey, Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage? And I would start up this game just to listen to the song because it was the only place you could get it, and I would literally put in headphones and rock out holding my Nintendo DS.
Well, let's listen to this. 2 minutes. Let's go.
Adventure time, come on, grab your friends. We'll go to very distant lands with Jake the dog and Finn the human. The fun will never end. It's adventure time. Hey, Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage?
What? What? This isn't on Spotify?
I mean, it's on YouTube now, but no, like, I don't think, and actually the song was made because I did some research, because, yeah, like, why can't I download this song for 99 cents? It's fucking incredible. The synth is insane, like, this sounds like an Anamanaguchi song, it's so fucking good.
Whoa! They did not need to go this hard!
Right, and actually the song, because I did do my research, is just, the dev team and some of their friends.
Holy shit.
Decided, hey, let's make a theme song for the game.
Wow. Wow! Whoa!
And then it's just gonna fade out because it's a music game. But that
I love this.
It's amazing.
I love this.
It is amazing.
Fuck yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like I literally when that game came out, I multiple times a day would like I don't have time to play, but I need to hear that song right now. It was like it was Song of the Summer. And that's
God damn.
That's almost a 10-year-old game, and I will literally never forget it just because every time I started it up, I got to hear that song. It's a good game, but it's not the best. It's not Zelda 2 is a better Zelda 2.
Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage lyrics? Autocorrect, like it just auto suggests, just like you want. Hey, Ice King, we know the rest of what you want. Wait, I'm gonna say Spotify. Is it on Spotify? Spotify. It was like the happiest day of my life when I realized that Spotify had like all of like that Sonic. What was that Sonic game that had like all the iconic songs on it? Which one was that? Oh shit! There's a Spotify link for it. Oh wait, but it's I don't know. It might be like a cover. It might be how sometimes people do covers.
Karaoke edition.
Okay, we'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna investigate this actually because I need that.
Please, the world needs that song.
I need that on my Spotify start list now. Okay, so let's do. What are we looking at right now? Okay, so I know we want to do a couple Witcher things. We got roughly 20-ish minutes left, and I'm looking through all our links. Okay, so yeah, let's just go. So what we're gonna do is let's watched. So we got 2 Witcher trailers to watch because of WitcherCon. And Mikey, will you please explain to our viewers who might not be in the know what WitcherCon is, the concept of it?
Yeah, so WitcherCon is your standard convention that deals with, like all cons do, a topic. This topic is Witcher. There's apparently enough content out there, which actually makes complete sense. But I had no idea even existed until this year.
I mean, per our conversation earlier in the episode, it seems like Witcher 3 has enough content.
Oh yeah,
alone.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, way too much content. So it makes sense. I mean, honestly, just on the games alone, they could probably do a convention. But obviously now they have multimedia, they have comics, they have books, there's everything you can imagine out there for Witcher content. I mean, not well. Obviously,
there are Witcher books.
Whoa! Wow, imagine that. If only they should have started with the books.
They should have started with the books. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they should have been if they really wanted it to go.
Yeah, to make a long-lasting series, you really should start with a book. They should learn that next time. But totally. and comic books also. So WitcherCon is a celebration. This year is it? I'm not sure if it's completely online, but they did a lot of online things. I think last year I remember seeing they still held it, or maybe it was canceled. I forget. But WitcherCon has been going on for a few years, and it's just your general convention about the topic of everything Witcher related. So,
okay, well, so yeah, and I think WitcherCon was digital this year. Was this the first WitcherCon? I think this might be the first one.
So the first one, I feel like they had announced something for it for last year, but I'd have to look into that.
Then it was last year.
Yeah, maybe they postponed it.
Yeah.
So this is the first one. So let's watch. This is an animated Witcher spinoff called Nightmare of the Wolf, and this is the date announcement trailer. And let's play it. Man, there's 23 months now. Also, real quick, Simple Enigma just gifted a sub to Valik. Congratulations, Valik, and thank you yet again.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very generous today. Appreciate it as always. But okay, so that definitely looks like a fucking Netflix animated thing. Mikey, what do you think? Does this look good to you?
Well, the track record they've had so far has been very positive, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks good. Not really
track record with what?
Well, I mean, they're what you call original animated series. So obviously Castlevania, big fan of. I love their Godzilla animated series.
Agreed.
I never saw that.
Pacific Rim animated show is very good too.
Yep. Yeah, I think all their animated stuff to me has been enjoyable. Everything I've watched, at least. I'm sure there's stuff that is not good, but I pick the things that look interesting, and when I watch them in their originals, I've liked them. So I feel positive about it. It's also one of their big things right now, so it's hard to imagine they'd let something slip out that sucks. But I think it looks good. Again, no plot, but do I need plot for Witcher? Really, like just jump in and you know what's going on.
He fighting monsters.
Yeah,
he's fucking.
He fight monsters. He's smashy.
The plot's gonna be a child disappeared from this town. I'll look into it. Also, let's fuck. That's gonna be
the plot. Yeah. That's,
super down.
I mean, especially if I'm the one playing that Witcher, and it's just like, oh shit, yeah, I'll find my daughter eventually. But also,
if you're playing him, you're like, I'm not gonna help about the missing kid, but
Okay. Jay, what do you think? Did you like The Witcher? By the way, did either of you like The Witcher series? And we'll start with Jay for this one.
I have not watched The Witcher series.
Okay.
Not that I'm against it. It just not something I've independently started yet, and seems like something I would have to do some convincing to get my wife on board with. So there's just a lot of other content.
Did you two watch Game of Thrones?
No, I'm really sorry about what I'm about to say. Please don't jump on me. I've never seen an episode of Game of Thrones. That's not entirely true. I've seen clips and whatnot, and I know a lot about that show because everyone talked about it for years, but I did not watch Game of Thrones. The two things people always told me about Game of Thrones is it is exactly your style. You would love it. It's exactly the type of thing you're into. And then they would go, every episode's full of incest and rape and trauma. And I would go, what the fuck do you people think about me and that I am into?
Here's the thing. As it goes on, it gets a lot less incesty and rapey. In fact,
yeah, because they just start chopping the dicks off. I know a lot about that shit.
Yeah, there's so little nudity in like the last couple seasons actually. But yeah, I don't know. How did that Witcher teaser look to you?
Yeah, I think I agree that it looks good. That looks more accessible to me as someone who has. I've only played The Witcher 3, but I've watched playthroughs of the other ones. So like I know the stories and everything, and I haven't read the books or delved too deep into the property. Other than that, but that looks like for me to watch something independently, if it's a cartoon and a more less of a deep thought and time commitment, I'm more likely to jump into like something like that. I'll get high and watch a Witcher cartoon.
Yeah, I can see that. Mikey, did you watch Witcher? Did you watch the first season of The Witcher?
Yeah, I fell asleep during a few episodes in the middle, honestly. I didn't dislike it. I liked it overall, but I would call it like solid. I know it's good. It's just, I don't know what to say about the middle. The middle, I'm like, it's just like, I'll take. Can you give me like 4 episodes a season? I'd love it. Like, it'd be perfect.
It's just about like 2 or 3 episodes in, I just shifted to like, I'm going to finish the season, but it's because I hate it.
Oh, really? So
and then I hated it to the very. I really didn't like it. And I also didn't like Castlevania. I know that like that's sacrilege. I made it like I think like 5 or 6 episodes into the second season. I was like, this is stupid. And I like stupid, but it was too stupid.
We know you've had that Nickelodeon Smash Brothers trailer playing behind you for like an hour.
yes, for an hour and 45 minutes. I've had fucking Oblina from All Real Monsters and Nigel Thornberry just popping up behind my little Loki button.
Yeah, and
as I wear my fucking TVA shirt.
It's been terrifying every time.
Yeah. So I have high tolerance for fucking like dumb bullshit, and yet, although I will say, part of what made me watch all of The Witcher is because there's just a lot of nudity. So
yeah,
it's like at least I'm going to see some tits.
A lot of boobs, and then there's also like a lot of like naked man meat too. So it's like it's very balanced. It's a very balanced show.
But okay, so we have another trailer, and that by the way, that Witcher teaser just looks too Castlevania for me. And so like, so Netflix's Witcher series times Castlevania, no, hella, unless I hear that it's like fucking phenomenal, I'm not gonna check it out. It smells too Castlevania-y. I mean, anyway, it looks like it. But another thing, the big drop at WitcherCon was the teaser for Witcher Season 2. I will say that the first season of The Witcher ends on a moment that should have been the end of the fucking pilot. Because that was like the point where I was like, oh, I've been waiting all season for this very basic thing to happen. So I'm probably gonna watch season 2 just because I'm that invested now, and I'm hoping the show gets good because I want it to be good because I love The Witcher 3. Anyway, but here we go. Witcher season 2 teaser.
So, I'm your destiny?
You're much more than that, Cirilla.
I need to understand some things.
The world is changing. Centra isn't safe for you anymore.
What exactly is Cameron?
You're home. Finally.
Who the hell are you?
Sometimes I feel so afraid. I feel like I could burn the whole world.
Facing your fear is not easy, but I am here for you. When I say run, you run. When I say hide,
We have to stay.
you hide. Run! Vesemir said that the world outside these walls is a dangerous place. But you can find power and purpose. Where is she?
What if your princess is more than you bargained for? Are you sure you're ready for this?
Welcome back.
Oh shit! What's her name? The one he always... that one. Oh shit, she's back. That one's back. I forget her name. Yeah, I think my biggest problem with The Witcher Season 1 is at no point did Geralt just go, "Wind's howling." At no point does he say that. But hey, Sybil in the chat is excited
She's
about this
excited.
one. Yeah, Sybil's excited. But Mikey, what do you think? You excited for The Witcher? The Witcher fucking season 2?
Yeah, very excited. I would say I'm curious. Definitely not excited. I think that's a little exasperated for the way I feel. I'm curious. I'll give it the 1-2 test. Watch 2 episodes. If the first one catches me, I'll watch a second, and I'll finish it even if I don't want to. Which happens if it's interesting. But I'm also curious to see what reviews are. That's the time where I'd look at it as I go, which I normally don't do, because I'm not sure I'm going to give that much of my time to something if it's as boring as the middle of Witcher Season 1 was to me. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it the 1-2. Just depends on how many breasts I see in the first episode. Jay, is this based on this teaser trailer you just saw? Is this a show that you would get into, or
I mean,
is it just something?
It looks like the trailer that I saw before Season 1 came out, where I was like, I might watch that, and then I didn't. So
never did.
I mean, I still might. You never know. Maybe another horrible virus comes, and we all get locked in our homes for a year, and then I'll have plenty of time to. It doesn't look fun though. That's the thing. Is that I think always keeps me from starting shows like that. Is I'm very hit or miss and tend more towards miss on these like serious tone, character driven, large ensemble cast TV dramas. One of the reasons we pretty much stayed away from Game of Thrones is because we didn't. I don't know.
I'd say
it's hard to get sucked
Game
into
of Thrones
shows
is
like
fantastic. Game of Thrones is fantastic for like 6 seasons, and then it just falls off a fucking cliff. And even in the last couple seasons, there's episodes that I would kind of go to bat for. Is like, well, those are good episodes. It's just the overall narrative. It's clear that like there was shit that George R.R. Martin was building up to in his narrative that like anybody who has a basic understanding of story structure like kind of predicted where the end was, based on all of like the little foreshadowing and breadcrumbs. And then so the creators wanting to be like, they wanted to manufacture a twist because they wanted to just surprise you. They wanted your jaw to drop at the end. So all the twists in the last 2 seasons are just dumb as fuck and illogical because they wanted the twist more than they wanted to make a good show.
That's a lot of what I heard.
Yeah. So, but for 6 seasons, it's pretty wild. When it's more or less following like what the books, we're doing, and then at a certain point, I think it starts following what the books were going to do. They had got to that point, because George R.R. Martin writes about a page a year, I believe, roughly, give or take.
Well, I mean, he was made in Jim Henson's workshop, so someone's got to man those big old beefy arms and make him work the typewriter.
He was too busy coding Elden Ring. That was the problem. He's just been working hard with his dev team. And then same for GOT. I'd still watch a best of cut. I mean, I would say there's enough good in Game of Thrones that just watch that and just know that it gets kind of shitty from here on out.
There's a chance I
cool
start
shit.
that at some point, because I mean, I know it's a beloved property.
Yeah, and I will defend. There's an episode in the final season called The Long Night, which got a lot of shit, but I think is just a cool episode of television just from a production standpoint.
Is that the dark one with no unnatural lighting?
Yeah, people complained, but I have a TV that is not shit, so I had no problem with it. If your TV sucks, you might have an issue with it, but if you have a TV that doesn't suck, I guess. Anyway, I don't know.
So it's a classist thing. If you're privileged, it's a great show.
Yes, I'm privileged. Yes.
Poster boy for privilege over here.
Yes, I own a PS5. Yes, that is correct. Okay. So I don't know, that Witcher trailer. I mean, I'm gonna watch season 2. or at least I'm gonna watch, if it's like as bad as it was in season 1, like 4 or 5 episodes in, I might just bail. But I'm at least at the very end of the season, I was like, oh, thank God. Okay, we finally hit the moment that they should have hit in the first episode. Awesome. I was like, okay, can't wait for the rest of this episode, and then it was over. And I was like, oh.
Can you do that? Are you comfortable walking away from a show if you're like in the middle of the season? You don't mind not finishing it, not seeing it through?
Well, see, it's funny that you mentioned that, Jay.
Well, you strike me as the opposite.
It dovetails real nicely into our next segment. And also real quick, Sybil Enigma says, I'm heading out. Excellent show as usual. Have a good night. And thank you so much for being here for the better part of 2 hours. Thank you for the gift subs to Valik and Miss Knox. That is super nice of you and super appreciate you and love you and enjoy the Disney Plus login I gave you. Bye, Sybil.
Thank you.
But yeah, so have I ever made it multiple seasons into a show and then given up? Jay asks. And the answer is, yeah, I made it 6.5 seasons into a pretty popular show before I fucking just was like, fuck this. I can't, this is bad. What they're doing to us is bad. I cannot abide this. And that show is Walking Dead, which just dropped a fucking trailer for the season 11 trailer trilogy. I don't know what that means. A TV show can't be a trilogy. It's a TV show. TV shows aren't trilogies. They're not movies.
They're going to be slightly longer episodes, so it's a trilogy.
Is this season 3 episodes? Just say it's a 3-episode season. That's more likely to get me to watch it.
Maybe it means there's going to be another spin-off, so there's 3. This one's going to be like, hang out with The Walking Dead, and it's just like, maybe they're cool.
Yeah. Rick loves zombie. Is
Yeah, The Walking Dead greater universe. You got Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead. You got the World of Walking Dead or whatever, Walking Dead
Oblivion or whatever it's called. Yeah, the young kids trying to.
The kids show is like a tween show.
Give me Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dead, where Zombie Guy Fieri reviews what states have the best brains.
Yeah. Dude, I want Walking Dead. I want Walking Dead All-Stars Brawl. I want Walking Dead Kart Racers Grand Prix. Give me anything but fucking season 11 trilogy. Anyway, so here is our final segment of this episode. Let's watch this 2-minute trailer for Walking Dead season 11 trilogy.
This is life and death.
Oh my God, they're going all the way to...
They're going back when the character that is not on the show was on the show.
Is he back?
No, he's... well, they were talking about doing Rick Grimes' movie. Maybe they're bringing him back for the final season instead.
Remember
he's
when
off
you
the
guys
show.
liked this thing?
We stick together.
Yeah, it's like,
You're
oh,
all
I
dead.
remember that. That was when I was invested in the characters. Yeah.
That's when you guys were all still alive.
Terminus was dope. I loved Terminus.
Yeah.
Negan, I actually dropped off before he got around.
I dropped off his first episode of that season where he was revealed. And yeah, no.
Yeah, see, now
All
we're into
this
the
shit.
that I don't remember. Yeah. Oh, the governor! I love the governor. Oh man, I miss the governor, dude. Governor fucking ruled. Uh-oh.
No matter what we faced.
Norman Reedus still collecting paychecks. Oh, Maggie's still around? What?
Yeah, she came
Steven
back. She
Yeun?
was off the show a while, and she's back.
Or where we're going.
Wait, Steven Yeun is dead in the
Yeah,
universe.
but she's still around.
Why is he at the table? No.
Together.
Okay, sorry. We're gonna read. I know we almost never do this, but I don't recall this scene. I don't recall. What is this, like a dream?
Yeah, it is. It's a fantasy.
Oh, because you have all these
The characters that like that's their dream of if only we all made it kind of thing. In seasons, it's from season 6 or no, beginning of season 7. One of those. The first episode when Glenn dies, they flash back to this at the end of the episode, being like, "Wouldn't this be nice?" Because all these characters are either dead or going to die.
So
and yeah,
this isn't now. So they're lying. This isn't now.
Yeah, it's not now. This is
Because,
from one of the earlier seasons.
All right, because I was like, really, Steven, dude, you got a fucking Oscar nom. Why are you fucking slumming it?
His eyes all
Get outta
popping.
here.
His eyes all popping out in his final scene. What a great way to go out. Very respectful.
Andrew Lincoln. Okay, but anyway, sorry.
No matter where we've been.
Or where we're going.
Whatever happens.
Oh, fuck.
We're family. Hashtag family.
Together.
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 Oh.
Together.
Oof.
Family.
You see Dom Toretto in his fucking car, dude.
They come and rescue him at the end. There's like zombie guts all over the car. Like, get in.
Jump over, Rick. Zombies? No way!
Haven't seen those in a few seasons, you know.
The final season what is the final season trilogy?
It's like 3 episodes that are extra long, I guess. Part 1. Who knows if they're even actually extra long? They're just treating them like movies. Like the producer, like these are cinema level episodes.
Because if you look at like the description of the episode on YouTube, it's just every moment has led to this. The beginning of the end premieres August 22. Are they just doing 3 final seasons, but like all of them are season length? But they're just, instead of like the final 3 seasons, it's just final season trilogy. You know, milking this all the way through 2022.
Oh, easily.
I mean, that's what they've been doing.
Yeah. I hear this season is going to have vampires. Says Malik. Yeah, that would be. I mean, at this point, why the fuck not? You might as well. Anyway, so let's go around. Jay, did this trailer inspire you to jump back into this universe?
No. First off, it's not even a trailer for a new season of the show. It's a trailer for all the previous seasons of the show. And I, very similar to what you were saying, dropped off this show earlier than either of you and earlier than a lot of people, about midway through season 3. And I gotta tell you, since 2012, my life has been fucking great. So I feel no need to get reinvested. No, this is another one of those.
Oh, you don't hate yourself?
This is another one of those giant ensemble cast character-driven drama shows that I think suffers from the fact that you have to regularly kill off characters. So you're getting invested with these people. They might not be around. What really drove me away is that I did not fucking care about like any of those people. I liked Glenn and I liked his girlfriend, and then that was about it. I fucking hated Rick. I hated his wife. I really hated their kid.
Happen to know they all die.
I was psyched to learn about that, and then I did not care, and I was like, I'm not going to keep watching a show that is about the struggles of the characters that I don't care what happens to the characters.
And Valik pointing out in the comments, it's like that Family Guy movie, which was 3 episodes long. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: South Park's done that, and it was amazing. Like, my favorite South Park movie is not Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. It's Imagination Land, because that was 3 episodes of the show that were just phenomenal when watched all in a row. And I actually rewatched it earlier this year, and actually holds up. Absolutely holds up.
It does, yeah.
Mikey, do you think you'd ever go back to Walking Dead?
I mean, it's one of those things where I'm not going to watch the in-between seasons. I've tried during the pandemic. I even went back when I'm on the treadmill being like, what should I watch? Walking Dead's easy. And I watch, I'm like, I can't. I hate this. But I will finish it because I was such a huge Walking Dead fan when it started. I mean, like, that's been like my entire duration out here in Boston. Like, my best friend and I were watching season 1 together when we moved out here. And there's a lot of memories attached to when the show was good. I just want to see it be over. I just want to see the ending. I don't need to fill in those 4 seasons that I missed. I don't care. I'm all set. I'm all set. Once you killed off Glenn, I'm all set. Cool.
Yeah.
But I want to see it done. So and also I like hate watching stuff. So if I hate it, I can at least speak about it and say why. Like, fuck it. Because it's hard for me to talk on things I haven't seen. So yeah, I'm all about it. About this specifically. If it was like next season, no. Final 3 episodes, yes. let's do the autopsy, baby.
So I did find this article by Ray Fluke. Ray Fluke is the name
good old Ray.
Bleeding Cool. Good old Ray Fluke.
That person does not exist.
That person does not want to admit that they
they do
like
not.
Walking Dead.
They stand by these opinions, but they don't want to be associated with them.
Right.
And this is the article that just kind of writing up the final season trilogy. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, then you know this Thursday is special for 2 reasons. First, it's the day that AMC Plus premieres The Walking Dead Origins, a look back at the journeys. So this is their version of Marvel Legends, right?
Yeah.
So this is their, like, hey, you don't remember, you don't want to watch 8 movies to get caught up for fucking WandaVision? Then just fucking, watch this shit right here. And then so it's a look back at the journeys Daryl, Carol, Maggie, and Negan took to get to the final season. So Negan's a good guy now? Is that what's going on?
I mean, it's sort of, kind of, not a good guy, but he's like neutral, is what you would say. Incredibly skilled neutral. It's same
like,
thing.
Yeah, you did.
Same thing
bash
they did in
our
the comics.
friend's head in with a fucking
and Rick would not have been cool with that in the TV show we've watched. In the comics, he's more complicated, so it works. But like in the show, no, he would have killed that man.
Yeah. It just
in the show, it's
tired. Like, the more you guys talk about it, the more you read about this show, I'm like, this is exhausting.
Yeah,
I know,
right?
I know,
isn't
this
it?
is exhausting.
I can't believe they're doing an origin show. So that's a good aside too. So yeah, they're premiering this like, okay, so we're ending the show, but you guys like Carol and Norman Reedus can't go sour, right? So cool, we'll put them in a show together. I'm like, what do you? It never ends.
Yeah. and in this show, Norman Reedus is a weird mailman from the future who has to carry a big stacked thing on his back, and that's the whole game. That's Death Stranding, Justin. Don't check it out.
Yeah, we've
talked about that.
I've seen. I mean, we've watched videos.
I've played it.
We watched the video game Donkey review of it, which is an all-time classic review. It's a Stranding type game.
It's the first Strand type game.
It's the first Strand type game. Okay. So it says, and speaking of the 11th and final season, Thursday also means it's time to see what AMC and the folks behind TWDU, the fucking MCU of The Walking Dead, have in store for this week's preview. And let's just say that had something epic in mind. Just in case you need a reminder of just how game-changing the upcoming season is going to be, the following trailer for Walking Dead, the final season trilogy, serves as an impressive reminder of how every against-the-odds victory and tragic, heartbreaking loss has led them to this money-milking moment.
Hey, Chris Hardwick wrote that, right? that's the fake name.
Yeah.
Is he still doing the recap show?
The Talking Dead right after? I don't know. Are they still doing that?
Talking Dead?
That's why I said his name.
They must.
That was completely random.
But anyway, right here answers my question, and I was right. So here's a look back at the episode titles for season 11, part 1. And if you see, I'm not going to read them out, but 1101 to 1108, means that so the final season trilogy is just 8 episode, just so it's 3 8-episode mini seasons essentially. It's just 3, so it's actually just like their longest fucking season of all time.
That sounds terrible.
But they're just selling it as a quote unquote trilogy.
Oh, kill me.
And I also just love Malik right here. Justin's mocking Toad is reason enough for this author to use a fake name.
That's what I was just laughing at. Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it's like, God, like fucking I hate capitalism, just typing I love this, that's why, that's why I'm not like my Saturday night podcasts aren't like any corporate tie-in anything, so I don't have to pretend like if I think an episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier sucks, I'm like, man, that fucking blew, why are we even talking about this shit, I'm so glad I don't have to be like, it was good, I liked it. But okay, so what? So it's just as well as look at the cover script for the season opener. All right, yes,
nice.
That's what
it's the basics
of
how
the script looks like.
That is the title. It's I learned. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
neat.
What are they proving with that? Look, we wrote this time.
What you don't see is it's 4 pages. So.
Yeah. What you're missing, Jay, is the last 3 seasons were just shot Curb Your Enthusiasm style, where it just had like a loose outline, and it's like, if you feel like killing a zombie in the background, just go hit him in the head. The extras know to drop. Ted Danson's just going to be hanging around. He's going to say whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah, God, I don't know 90% of these characters. I know Negan, Maggie. Oh, Eugene's still alive?
Yeah. Sure is.
Wow, okay. I don't know Ezekiel. I don't know Princess. Yumiko. Carol, of course. Magna. Kelly, don't know that.
What would get me to watch this show again is if they traveled north to Canada and met a songstress with a weird haircut, and they joined up and started an indie band called Negan and Sarah. Then I would watch this.
That was a long setup, but you got there.
Thank you.
That was a long setup, but you nailed it.
Thank you. I don't know if
ending.
we've met, but I'm all about the stretch.
God, now I want to go and listen to some Tegan and Sarah. As soon as I find that Adventure Time song on Spotify, I'm going to queue up Tegan and Sarah radio, man. Yeah. I don't know. What do we make of this? What do we? I think if anything I can pull from this, it's we have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and we need to atone.
And we deserve this. Yeah.
Yes, we deserve this. The virus was punishment for this. The virus was trying to prevent another a trilogy final season of Walking Dead, and it didn't. And I shudder at what comes next.
I just want the last 3 episodes. Just leave me the last episode right now. Can I just and then I can leave this whole thing behind me and forget it ever happened. I just want conclusion. I want the end of this.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get it by the end of 2022.
Oh my God.
Unless they're like, psych, here's another trilogy.
Well, I mean, they're apparently not done telling the beginning of the story.
Dude, I can't wait for the end of the... Yeah, this is just the end of the beginning.
You had 11 years to feel like you said it all.
Yeah, we're about to get into the second act, Mikey.
Oh, God.
We're on our way.
Stop, you're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. What a depressing way to end this episode.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, I don't even know, man. I just...
Okay, I'll just say something nice about something Norman Reedus has been in that you liked. How about that? We'll end it as a positive. Other than Walking Dead, Norman Reedus has been in a lot, right?
Fucking Love Actually. Love Actually. Hell yeah. I call Love... You all have to think of something that's not Love Actually.
Boondock Saints
I call that.
2 All Saints Day.
Wait. Did you say Andrew Lincoln or Norman Reedus?
Norman Reedus. Andrew Lincoln. His only real credit to fame is Love Actually.
Love Actually. Yeah, I was going to say.
Reedus.
I thought you said Norman Reedus.
I call Blade 2.
Not. I'm not Death Stranding. I'll tell you that much.
That's all that's left.
I guess the first Boondock Saints.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You could pick PT.
You could pick what?
Oh,
PT.
Great. He wasn't a PlayStation gamer at that time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was before Justin's time on PlayStation.
What's PT?
PT was Hideo Kojima's idea for a Silent Hill game that was released as a demo with Norman Reedus as the lead. And it got canceled.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Why did that get canceled?
Money, greed, all the worst reasons.
Also, Hideo Kojima's fallout with
Konami.
Yeah, it had a lot to do with it, but that was way before the rest of the fallout. That was the beginning of the end. It was I think it's kind of like cart before horse. That really sped up the fallout, I think. They weren't really aggressively against him at that point, although he had been spending a lot of time working on the Metal Gear Solid engine, the game engine, and spending a lot of money, which they did not like, but surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, and now they just make slot machines.
Exactly.
And they're like,
place to be.
He's keeping us from moving to be a slot machine only company.
I can't wait for the PT slot machine, though. It's going to be really scary how much money I lose when I buy a unit and bring it to my house.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess that's our episode.
I'm satisfied.
Summation, in summation, everybody pre-order Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
And if you're gonna do it, get the season pass, or you're gonna lose out.
Yeah, get the season pass trilogy.
And when you get it, send me your Steam tab or whatever it's called, friend code, and we'll play.
Yeah, your Steam Deck, your Valve Steam Deck friend code. Yeah. Okay. So end of the show. And please, Jay, one last time, promote your shit, my friend.
Hi, my name's Jay Chanoine. On social media, I'm Jay Chanoine, and it's spelled like that. I have 2 albums out. My most recent one is 2019's The Texas Chanoine Saw Massacre, and it's out on Stand Up Records, and it's available on all of your favorite streaming and music purchasing platforms. And I also write for The Hard Times, so go read that website.
Woo! Okay, Mikey, promote your shit.
Yeah, so I'm Mikey Jesus everywhere except for Instagram, which I'm working on. Mikey Jesus with a G, not a J. If you want to find me,
you just go into Instagram.
I know.
You just change the name.
Well, actually, I already have the handle. I just have to switch my pic. It's complicated. Move my pictures around, and
Jesus Christ,
I know.
Okay.
It's complicated. I already have it. It's very old. However, I will only promote one thing because the other thing Justin will talk about. But every week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Twins, This Week in Nerd Stuff, this show where we talk about the week's most important nerd news, the only news that you need in the world. And that's my main gig right now.
Sweet. It's also kind of my main gig. Hi, everybody. Justin P. Drew. Find me at Shushy Lives Everywhere. Check out the Film Simps on Spotify. You can find archived episodes of this show in audio form on Spotify, usually within 24 hours of the episode ending. And this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Loki, we are the Hiddle Simps. We are recapping the finale, talking about that major cameo. Some of you know what I did. And then of course every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, that's going to change slightly in the next month. Is the Film Simps, the flagship show. This Wednesday we are reviewing Space Jam: A New Legacy, which I will be rewatching the original Space Jam for, and maybe even watching Looney Tunes back in action for the first time ever. Just because we are in the middle of a Brendan Fraser songs, and he, he deserves more credit than he gets. But in the meantime, thank you to Valik, thank you to Miss Knox, thank you to Sybil Enigma, of course, Murderman Jones, Lucille, Dave Vidala, who came in, dropped a fucking classic joke, and then left. And of course, Sybil Enigma, she's not here, but thank you yet again for the 2 gift subs. In Valik and Miss Knox, enjoy those. In the meantime, this has been fun as always, and go fuck yourselves as always.